let's just suppose somebody has figured out their messaging and their positioning, and they're very much sure about their ICPs and all of that. Now the next part comes in, obviously the content machinery. You have to build that content. So what patterns and trends that you foreseeing in this look in this new era, or maybe this era post this VC investment drop and all of that? So where should startups be focusing at?
Sure. I think there's a couple of things that are happening now. Obviously, we're not anymore in 2021, so VC money is harder to get. And it's that's why, because of that, startups are a lot more conscious about how they spend their money. So there is what I'm seeing is that there's been already like a shift from really being aggressive on channels like paid advertising and performance marketing, and moving more into try to build a defensible organic acquisition. So maybe starting out with content, SEO, and even outbound. So I'm seeing like a lot more companies going into that. Then another big trend is obviously AI. Everyone is talking about it. And it's definitely made content creation a lot easier. It lowered the barrier to entry for content, so everyone can now create content. But I think what the short-term cons to this, I mean, like it's probably going to be long-term as well, but a big cons that I'm seeing to this is that it's basically flooding the internet with a lot of noise, with a lot of low-quality content, especially again if you have an unclear messaging, like that's basically like flooding the internet with a lot of diluted messaging that everything kind of like feels and sounds like the same because it comes from the same LLM, and the AI provider all comes from that. There's no value added, there's no human in the loop, and there's no curation of an AI output in terms of content. And that's what's happening, like for most companies, which again like is creating what I call the fast foodification of content. Content are gonna feel like, because it's easy, it's cheap to create content. There's a lot of it, on LinkedIn, but again, it all feels and tastes kind of like the same, like kind of like a fast food. But ultimately, yes, it is easy to create this type of brand these days, but it means that because there's so much more of it, in terms of amount of content out there, and because everything kind of like feels and tastes kind of like the same, it's going to be so much harder to stand out, right? And to be differentiated. That's why I think, again, you don't need just like a clear messaging. Is something that a clear, thought through and targeted messaging that is resonates not for everyone, but for one or two of your ideal customer profile. That's gonna get you already 50% to stand out. But if you want to really like stand out, what's the missing half is what I call like a tasteful brand, which means again like it's something that you need to like combine both messaging, visual identity, consistency, but also an opinionated, different stand from what everyone else is doing. And that's done obviously through storytelling, is done through visual identity combined with messaging, and there is also like a personification of the brand, which is like an opinionated founder, right? That has a story to tell, has an experience and opinions, and consistently shared them and put their face out in the blue consistently again, and evangelize basically what they're doing, their brand, and all of that.